Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Shameless in Chicago. This is your host, Nin.
And I'm Luke, and we're back.
We're back, guys.
We know you missed us.
I know. And on today's episode, we're actually going to do something new. I'm excited for this one.
Yes. It's going to be, we're going to take a deep dive into the internet and put a mirror to everyone's face to show how awful you are.
No. It's the Reddit post of, am I the asshole?
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
He's not. Yes, we picked out a couple that I think really speak to us, and we're going to hit it, and we're going to hit like a nail on the head, honestly. We're going to take a deep dive into some of these Reddit posts and give our 2 cents.
Yeah. So Luke actually came up with this idea of Am I the Asshole because he thought it would be something fun. Go ahead and explain why you thought this would be fun.
So I thought this would be fun because, we stress out a lot about our topics. We want to make sure that we can talk to you guys like, you're in the room with us. Mm-hmm. But sometimes all we really talk about is kind of the media we intake. Yeah. And a lot of that is from Reddit, honestly. Reddit has a lot of polls. There's different subcategories. Am I the Asshole is one of these ones that are popular, that are taking off because people genuinely lack self-awareness.
Yeah. So I was actually hesitant about this one. And then I found out that there's a podcast that just does like gossip posts on Reddit, and people were talking about it and they're like, no, I love it so much. It's so interesting.
And with all these people posting on this, it's a bunch of different perspectives. Like everyone's kind of got like a different perspective to go off of. So it opens up your brain to think a little bit differently too.
Right. And I just thought it would be fun because if you're just like driving somewhere, you're like, I just want to listen to something. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah. I was kind of diving through Reddit and I found one that kind of speaks to me because I feel like it's something I could have lived through.
So before we get started, the way that we're doing this is that Luke has found a story and I have found 2 stories. He's going to read it to me, and it will be the first time I have ever heard of the story. He hasn't read it to me prior, and vice versa. I found stories, I've already read them through, and then I'm going to tell him about it. So he gets his initial reaction, and you guys get to see his initial reaction as well, and you get to see my initial reaction, because I just think it's more fun that way. And just so you guys know, this isn't pre-rehearsed. This isn't manicured. This is literally...
We never pre-rehearse. You should see how hard we do.
No, literally none of our content is pre-rehearsed, and it's literally because we want you guys to genuinely feel like you're a part of this conversation with us. And when we're having these conversations, I want you guys to think in your head like, oh, what would I say? Or like,
we want to be authentic. I want you people to see what it's like. I want you to see the actual anxiety cross my face as I have a conversation I haven't rehearsed before.
Right, exactly. All right, so let's get into it.
So I found one that hits a little close to home.
Okay.
Not really sad or anything, but I definitely think this could have been me in like a timeline that's right next to ours.
Okay.
So am I the asshole for telling my son that he's obviously gay?
Okay.
So this hits close to me because I actually came out to my cousin when I was in high school. I told her to keep it a secret, which she did not. She told her parents, and her parents are the biggest loudmouths. So they did try to tell my parents I was gay before I came out.
Yeah.
Which wasn't cool. So I got my own time. But anyways.
But did your parents know you were gay?
When I was really young, I used words like fabulous, parched, peckish. And my mom was kind of like, yep, that man's gay.
So when you came out as gay, what was your family's reaction?
So I came out through a text message.
Okay.
I was going on a school trip. It was a 3-day school trip.
This reminds me of when Joe Jonas broke up with Taylor Swift over text.
So it was a perfect storm. So I went to a school trip. It was 3 days. My mom went to New Jersey and my dad was home. So I put it in a group text to my parents. I was 15 years old. I put it in a group text to my parents. Love you, Mom. Have fun in Jersey. Love you, Dad. Take care of the cat. I'm gay and I got a C in geometry.
Okay, I think I would be more upset about the C in geometry.
My mother was shocked by the C in geometry. That was kind of her take. She's like, "What? You got a C?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And my father assumed I was kidding and asked me if I was the pitcher or the catcher.
The pitcher, the catcher,
both.
Oh my gosh.
So that was fun. And I remember coming back home after the trip, and I got in the car, and it was my dad picking me up, and this was really nerve-wracking for me because I didn't know how my dad felt back then. I wasn't as close to my father back then as I was now.
Yeah.
And he did ask me, he's like, is there anything you want to take back? Like, he was giving me an opportunity to reset to the status quo. I thought for a minute, because I genuinely thought about it. I was like, we could just kind of walk away from this and do it. And I said, no, there's nothing I think I need to take back. And from then on, I've seen my father grow from someone who, didn't really have a care in the world, but turned into just like my protector, my supporter.
Yeah.
He's always there to learn about me, and he's always there to be there whenever he can. I think I had the best lottery draw when it came to family.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. Your parents are pretty great.
My parents are pretty great. But without further ado,
wait, what was your mom's reaction?
Oh, my mom was in shock. I think it was more internalized for her.
Okay.
Than it was for me. We come from a different generation. Back when my mother was growing up, being gay was a lot less acceptable.
For sure.
She had one gay friend. He went into the Navy actually too. Love you, Eric. But I don't know. I think once I came out, it was just so nonchalant for me. I didn't want it to be a big deal. I didn't want to have a whole big conversation about it. I just wanted to say, I'm gay, done. And my mom wanted to have a whole, let's have a conversation about this. I need to talk about this. And I said, I don't feel the need to do that. I'm gay. I don't have much to talk about until I experience life as a gay man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can understand coming out a little young like that. Could shock your parents, but that was me.
That's cute. It's nice that your parents didn't have like such a foul reaction though.
You know what? It was really nice. I think I had a bit of a standoffish relationship with my family. And I honestly think keeping myself in the closet contributed to that, because I gave myself the predisposition that I was going to be rejected by my family when there was really no risk of that at all. I had the most accepting family in the world.
That's really nice. Thank God for that.
I know. But without further ado, let's see how this parent handled their child.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So,
okay.
Am I the asshole for telling my son that he's obviously gay? I think this is something my dad would have posted.
If he knew about this?
Yeah, if he knew about this is something he would have posted just for funsies. So, my son, a 17-year-old male, has been in the closet for the past 7 months.
Oh, okay.
So, my son is fairly masculine, straight acting, if that makes sense. However, he obviously has had a boyfriend, an 18-year-old male, for the past 7 months. He sometimes baby talks to the boy, hugs him all the time, has called him handsome, shares clothes, and they sit way too close to each other to the point where they're basically cuddling. He closes his bedroom door when with him, but not any other friends, sees him pretty much every day, buys him gifts, and for the past 7 months now, he always smells great. Man, hygiene's really gay, huh?
I mean...
So hold on. He also has his hair fixed really nice, dresses nicer, among other things.
Yeah.
Today I asked my son if he was going to invite his boyfriend on our trip, and he got awkward and said, "That's not funny." I asked what he meant, and he said, "I'm straight, that's not funny." I laughed, and I realized he was serious, and I started laughing even harder.
Oh, no.
I told him he was very obviously in a relationship with a guy and did a terrible job at hiding it. He got emotional and started asking me not to tell his dad. My husband already knows. Like I said, it was obvious. So this is a mother.
Okay, yeah.
Then he got upset, saying that I outed him when he wasn't ready, and he hasn't said a word to me in a couple days. Am I the asshole?
No.
I mean, you're going to laugh at your child even harder?
No. I think she laughed I think her laugh came from a nervous laugh. Because she was like, "Oh shit, you're serious?" And then it's like, "No, wait, was I seriously wrong?"
I really hope so, because in no way, shape, or form does it look like she had any remorse. So she literally just said, "I laughed," and when I realized he was serious, I started laughing even harder.
It just like makes me think of like Bailey Sarian. If you guys watch any of Bailey Sarian's videos, she laughs while she's talking about these murder stories. And she's like, "I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm nervous and uncomfortable."
Right. But I think if I was still in the closet at 17, I came out at 15. If I was still in the closet at 17, and I don't know, you're more emotional at that age.
No, for sure.
You're going to take things a lot more personally at that age. But I wanted, like, some of these identifiers, other than him, closing the door when that one boy is there. You smell nicer, you dress nicer. Come on, does this mean does your man dress like in a rucksack?
Well, no, I'm thinking because if you guys have seen the trend on TikTok, it's like the girlfriend glow up, like the girlfriend does for the boyfriend, and the boyfriend glows up. Have you seen that trend?
No, I haven't, but no wonder I'm not glowing up. We're two men in a relationship.
I mean, apparently this kid is. No, but the theory is that when men get into relationships, they start glowing up for their woman, right? The woman has that, that feminine touch. And I remember listening to something and the man was like, "Did you know that there's a different towel you should use after you wash your face? And it's not the same towel you use for your body." And it's like, yeah. And then if you look at my boyfriend, for example, I mean, if Luke feels like editing, we'll insert like pictures of what my boyfriend used to look before and after. And it's a huge difference night and day. So I think that her noticing that like, oh, your boyfriend had an impact on you to want to dress better, to want to smell better, to want to maintain certain things about yourself. So I think from the mom's perspective, I don't think she did anything wrong.
And now let's talk about this from the other perspective too, where the mom's not the asshole, right?
Yeah.
She's very obviously saying, I see that you're happy and in a relationship. Please invite your partner on this trip.
Yeah.
I mean, so people kind of think that coming out has to be a whole big event. I think that if you, and this is, to the younger or whoever, if you've got a family who's outright saying that, they see what's going on and they see that you're happy with someone, you don't need to have that big defining moment when your family already accepts you because they've already done the work for you.
Right.
Like coming out, I don't think coming out has to be
an entire event.
It doesn't. And if that's what you want to do, go off. If you want to be celebrated, you want to celebrate, do that. But if my family had come to me and said, listen, you're obviously gay, Luke. We're not just going to sit here and act like you're going to bring a girl home for Thanksgiving. I think that would have been very good, I think that your family giving you the opportunity to be your most genuine self is amazing. I applaud the mother for this one, but I do have to ask you, do you think Reddit voted asshole or not asshole?
I think they voted the mom is not the asshole.
Mm-hmm. So they voted the mom was the asshole.
What?
Yes, the mom was voted the asshole, which I can see why they would think that because some people on the internet will go up in arms for some small things like that.
Okay, hear me out. I really don't think the mother is the asshole because one, she's never had this experience before of having a gay child, right? That's different.
And it's not like she's kicking him out because of anything, She's obviously very welcoming of this.
She's very welcoming of it, very accepting of it. And if anything, if you reflect on your life, you're always going to go to your mother before your father. That's for sure. For a lot of cases, I'm not to judge your relationship with your mother, your father, but usually the mother is the one, especially in the movies and stuff like that. Like you were like, oh, did you tell dad? Like it's very secretive. You have that open relationship with your mother. And for her to be so open to it and so accepting of like, yeah, invite your significant other to the trip. And knowing that his dad would probably be on the trip too. It's like the dad is probably accepting. And it sounds like this family has a healthy relationship. The mom and dad are healthy.
It sounds like the child is really just stressing about feeling robbed of an experience they wanted maybe. I don't think that experience is needed. I think we put too much. We romanticize the coming out talk. We romanticize the whole coming out situation. But this is kind of why I like TV shows like Love, Simon. Your character's already established as gay. We don't have to go throughout this whole like arc of them coming out to their parents and re-entering society as a gay man. Yeah. But being gay is becoming a bit more. I shouldn't say more commonplace. It's becoming more publicly accepted.
For sure.
So, good on the mom. I don't think she's the asshole. I definitely think she shouldn't have laughed a little harder. I mean, you can stifle that. Let's be honest here. But I also probably would have laughed pretty hard myself because I am the asshole.
So why does Reddit think he's the asshole or she's the asshole?
So Reddit just voted on her. She's the asshole. One person says that, when they were 17 watching TV with their parents, their dad said that it's okay to be gay. And other than forcing that person to come out, it gave that person kind of the room to grow and say, hey, if I did this, my family would still be accepting of me. So maybe they are more saying that she went around it the wrong way. She should have been a bit more subtle or been a bit more tactful with it.
I guess.
But honestly, I support someone who's pretty blunt. Just tell me what you want to say.
I mean, but isn't your mom a pretty blunt woman?
My mom is a pretty blunt woman.
Yeah, your mom doesn't really.
I think I blunted my mom out though. I think growing up being her son, I'm the one who turned her blunt.
Yeah. Because I'm a very blunt woman myself. I don't like to sugarcoat. I don't like to tiptoe my way. I think that's why I don't think the mom's the asshole because I just be like, look, are you gay? I could tell. Let's move on. Let's go on vacation. We don't need to be like, okay, son, and how does that make you feel? I know that's crazy, and I'm a therapist, but I'm also a very blunt therapist as well.
She is.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I definitely say the mom's not the asshole. I definitely just think that she could have gone down a different way rather than maybe inviting someone he's known for 7 months on vacation.
I mean, yeah, but that was her way of trying to be accepting.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my story?
Hit me up.
Okay, so this one I think is very interesting, and I think you're gonna like it because I don't know. I think we'll like this one. Am I the asshole for canceling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she traveled the world to attend it?
What?
I know. It's such a good headline, I swear. My husband and I, 26 female, so she's our age, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa, but I am French. So our wedding in the Savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for the 13 French guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you see lions, elephants, etc. And to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party.
Okay.
We only invited 30 people, the people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt, 38 female, 8 years ago, and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone, and so I only invited my aunt, not her partner or her kids, since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy, but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us and that we only want people we love to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her, but also for her family. She said it was a family trip, but added that she heard some of my guests canceled and so that there is now space for her family. I told her that it would not be happening, but her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by my mom into inviting them for the wedding itself because they are coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me, smirking. She was holding her kid. Her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type. I didn't know how to react. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook hand with her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had and that her family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying, we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunts announced that they were leaving. I asked why leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for the dinner and they are only 5 minutes away. She replied that she never intended to stay for dinner, but that she will spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party day. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding ourselves and that she has no say in who I host, and I walked away. But she yelled at my back in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was not over and that I better come back. My sister had to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Am I the asshole?
You and your sister are assholes. 100%.
Okay, I'm interested.
So, you're assholes.
Okay.
Assholes.
Okay.
So let's break it down here, right? Everyone's gonna die someday. Your aunt, your aunt's partner, your aunt's child. Mm-hmm. Everyone is going to die someday. Mm-hmm. You have an opportunity to mend your relationship. You have perfect amount of seats and chairs because you've had guests cancel on you already. Mm-hmm. These people have traveled the world to celebrate you. Mm-hmm. I think that your ego is gigantic and you need to take a step back because all your family wants to do is celebrate you and love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family's not hard. And family's pretty hard to cut off.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if they are traveling from France to South Africa. Like, that's a different hemisphere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're the asshole. Okay. Wow. The whole time I was listening to that, I think I would have just thought, it's perfect. Some guests canceled. That means I've got extra chairs. Then yes, we can bring these people whom we love. Not even lose a cent because it's already paid for. You're not going to get your money back for that.
That's true. That's very true.
Assholes. What do you think? You think they're not the asshole, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, see, because you're all about the perfect wedding.
No, I'm not actually.
What? Tell me. Hit me.
Okay. I mean, the way you put it that way of like, oh, they're not the asshole. And to put it to you, Reddit thinks that she is not the asshole.
Really?
Yes.
I get it's your wedding day, but come on, some people have already canceled.
Okay, hear me out. Because she doesn't have a relationship with her aunt anymore. They haven't spoken in 8 years.
Then why invite her in the first place?
Hold on, but she extended the olive branch to be like, you know what? This is my wedding day. We used to be very close. Maybe my wedding can be a time for love and connection between us two. Let me extend the olive branch out to you first, and then we can work our way towards your family, you know? And her husband paying for the entire thing is like, okay, so you didn't even ask for a penny from your mom, a penny from your parents. Your mom is overextending her stay and her say, basically. And also, she invited her aunt, no plus one. She wants this intimate wedding. She wants to look back at the pictures and know that she had a relationship with everyone there. The pictures are meaningful. And so, I don't know. That's why I don't think she's the asshole. And like, her aunt continuously tried to push her boundaries. Like, she gave her aunt an inch of come to my wedding, but then her aunt decided to take a mile. And then she said she never even planned on coming to the dinner.
That's wild to me. But
yeah,
I think that she, and of course this is outside looking in on an internet post.
Yeah.
But maybe she turned that into, I don't plan on coming to dinner because there's been so much drama surrounding the attendance of the wedding.
Yeah.
You know, she said, no, instead, no one's coming, you know?
Yeah.
No one's coming.
Yeah, well, no, she's saying that she never even planned to come to the dinner. She was only coming to the pool party.
Wow.
So that's why I think that the aunt wasn't really there to make amends. It was an excuse for her to have a vacation, you know? It's like, oh, sure, I've never been to South Africa. I would never go otherwise. But if my entire family is going to be there, why not just make a trip out of it? Because it's not about where you are. It's about who you're with. And if your entire family's in South Africa, then you're like, oh, why not? It's a nice vacation.
I guess it's a different perspective. I just feel that, you know, if you've got the opportunity to have more loved ones at your wedding, I'm a big wedding person. If I have an opportunity to have every single person in my family, even if we just share a last name at my wedding, I want that.
Yeah.
That's just, and that's my personal perspective, of course, how I want mine to go.
Yeah.
But I think there's just a time to celebrate and love. You know, you could make this new relationship with your baby cousin, with your uncle, with your aunt.
Yeah, the part that I didn't like is that she said, I'm not the scandal type. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook hand with her partner. Her partner did nothing. And the kid has done absolutely nothing. What's wrong with showing kid love? Like, that's my issue. Like,
what's wrong with making memories for them? They're coming from France to South Africa. That must be amazing for them.
Right, especially. And like kissing the kid hello, like the fact that she didn't like that she did that, it's like, you're kind of an asshole. Like, kids have nothing to do with the situation that you have between you and your aunt. And if you really want a relationship with your aunt, then you should have extended the olive branch before, had a conversation with her, so on and so forth. And also, like, be a nice person, dude. Like, if your mom loves her sister and your grandma is there, like, why are you not just going to have everyone? I don't know. In my idea, it's the more the merrier.
It's $0 to be a nice person.
No, literally. And if these people, like, are just having fun, and of course she wants her husband and her kid there, like, who wouldn't? It's like, dude, there's no she got nothing out of being the asshole. All she does now is she feels like shit.
And now you probably even made your relationship with your mother more strenuous because that's her sister.
Right, exactly. And the fact that she posted this 5 hours ago, but her wedding was 3 weeks ago. So she's been sitting on it. Exactly. And so it would have costed her less stress and less feeling like an asshole if she would have just had her aunt there. And it's like, I don't know. I just think that her behavior, like, now that you put it into perspective, it was just her ego. It was
childish.
It was childish. But then, like, from a perspective of, like, I feel like there's something deeper. Like, I feel like this girl has no control in her family and isn't respected in her family.
And maybe that's why she moved all the way to South Africa from France.
Probably. And, like, this is the one time she felt like I can assert my dominance and control. I don't know. That's what I kind of got from it.
I'm a big compromise person. If the sun is going to rise tomorrow, then there's no reason for me to have a bad day. Everyone should get to enjoy the love and family around them.
No, exactly.
So are you staying with not the asshole?
No, I switched to she's the asshole.
She's the asshole.
She's the asshole. I mean, when I first read, I was like, oh, she's not the asshole. I totally agree with her. But
childish.
Then, as I like come to think of it, and then because at first I was putting myself in her perspective because she's 26 and I was like, all right, girl, we're the same age. And she doesn't have a relationship with her aunt. I don't have a relationship with mine anymore. And I was like, okay, look, I can relate. But after talking about it, it's like, oh, she extended the olive branch, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to extend the olive branch to my aunt. So, like, why would I? Right? Like, so that was, yeah, she's the asshole.
All right. Well, you got one more for me, right?
I do. I have one more for you.
Oh, I'm excited.
And guys, honestly, I bet you guys have opinions. So let us know on our Instagram. Is she the asshole? Like, we're going to
also pop up on our YouTube.
Yeah. Pop out on our YouTube. Start a conversation. We'll be there. We'll be reading the comments.
We'll fight with you. I'll fight with you.
Luke will fight with you.
I will. I'm going to do it on a separate account, though.
Okay. This one is a sad one, in my opinion. It's kind of sad. This one, okay. This one has Reddit up in arms about whether or not she's the asshole.
Hit me.
Am I the asshole for missing Christmas because I don't want to be near my daughter?
Is there more to the story?
Yes, there is. Okay. But can we just talk about how these people's like headlines are so good? Like,
can we talk about how these people are bringing some really deep personal issues to the internet and to judge themselves?
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the weird part.
This one was 2 hours ago. So am I the asshole for not wanting to spend Christmas with my family? Okay. Throwaway account, but my daughter is 14 going through terrible teenage tantrums. She was always a happy kid, but when she turned 12, she started to act out and behave horribly. We have tried therapy and she still is in it, but it's done nothing. Recently, the school called us in because she has been bullying a classmate of hers seriously and she was suspended for 3 days. Yeah, so this sounds like a troubled 14-year-old. With the advice of her therapist, we have taken away her Christmas gift and phone, and she is doing some community service work. Yeah, I had the same reaction. I'm like,
This sounds like a girl, like, honestly striving for some attention from her parents.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't understand where the therapist is coming from.
Yeah, or I don't understand why you shouldn't be punished. The first step should be, like, I was an asshole. Now, finish the story. We'll talk about this.
Okay. Today I come home to find some very expensive makeup and my special DVDs have been broken. For context, my mom passed away 2 years ago and we were incredibly close. Before she died, she had recorded a bunch of videos of her singing original songs. This was so important to me, and the case of the DVD was painted by her, and all in all, it was so special to me. She was the rock because she was my only family. I do admit I fell into a depression for about 6 months, but my husband and that DVD helped me get through it. She's talking about, like, after her mom's passing, the DVDs and her husband helped her get through it. I don't have those songs anywhere else. When I came home, her hands were bloody from smashing it. Like, her daughter's hands were bloody from smashing all of the CDs. When I saw my DVD and her smiling face, I really almost lost it on her. I have never once hated my daughter, but at that moment, I had such a sense of hate for her. I think my reaction pissed her off because I was very silent, and I started to walk back to my car because I knew I would have lost control on her if I didn't control myself. She started to scream at me, but I got in my car and drove to my mom's house about 2.5 hours away. My husband called me later in the evening berating me for leaving her alone and that I should have been the adult. I said I was sorry and I explained why, and he said he understood, but I'm still the adult. Today, he called me asking when I'm coming back so we can talk about it, but I told him I will let him know when I'm ready because I still feel so upset and angry. He called about an hour ago telling me to knock it off and come because if I don't, I will miss Christmas. We are going to his parents' house to celebrate. But I told him I think it's best if I stay here and come back before New Year and book an appointment with a therapist. He called me a child and an irresponsible parent who doesn't care about her child, but I do care about her, but I'm also so upset and I understand what I did wrong. I don't understand what I did wrong with raising her. I genuinely feel so alone and upset. Am I the asshole? So she has some like little asides here. Info, I'm not depressed anymore and I never abused my child. When I was depressed, but I was emotionally checked out, I still took care of her. But when I got better, I took her to Disneyland for a week and we mutually had an amazing mother-daughter bonding time and I apologized. Her behavior started to go wrong while my mother was alive and my mom helped me cope and research on how to help my child. The reason we asked advice from the therapist is not because we don't parent our child. It's because this was a serious case and we wanted to be firm but not be too harsh. The reason the songs were not downloaded anywhere because I keep it in the same small safe I keep my jewelry, passports, and stuff. It never occurred to me.
And that's besides the point. But
yeah.
There's a lot to go here, and you know what, I'm not going to jump and call this mom the asshole, because having children does not mean that you're automatically exempt from having feelings.
I agree.
So, you know, you are allowed to feel how you feel, and if anything, I actually think the mother, you're not the asshole, because I think you did something correct. You know, in any terms, if it's postpartum or if it's regular, if it's seasonal, if you feel like that, if your emotional state is going to take a toll on your family, on your children, and you're actively wanting to seek help because of that, I don't think that you're in the wrong, especially if your child is your trigger.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, there's problems there. The child obviously needs to be handled and spoken to and, you know, given proper guidance, but it's also really hard to do that when your own brain is attacking you with your own depressive episodes. Couple that with the recent death of your parent, and then you're losing the only thing that you have left of them, and that's their voice. My mother has a picture of just her hand holding her mother's hand when she was sickly in bed. I can't even imagine what would happen if that picture were to go away.
Yeah.
It's a comfort. So no, I don't think this woman's the asshole at all, because she's just trying to meander herself through her own life, raise her daughter while also being challenged by a teenager. So no, I think the dad's the asshole, because he should recognize that the fact that if his wife, who he knows has gone through some trouble with her mother's passing, should be helping pick up some of this, you know, so pick up some of the slack. I'll use that's the best word I can use for it. Pick up some of the slack. Your wife is having an issue parenting your daughter.
Yeah.
Your daughter needs both of her parents. So if your partner can't be there because their brain is actively keeping them away from being a parent, then you need to step up and handle your daughter.
I agree.
Your daughter needs discipline, regardless of what's going on or how old they are. They're breaking heirlooms. They're bullying kids at school. They're getting suspended. You need to discipline your child.
Right.
If one partner is not able to do that, then it needs to fall on the other partner. Otherwise, this child's going to grow up unchecked, and then this behavior is just going to get worse.
I'd have to agree. This person commented, and I think their comment is really good. It says, "You're not the asshole. Your reaction is actually very mature and probably was the right thing to do. She knew when she destroyed your stuff, she would get a rise out of you. Instead, you didn't say a word and left. I think it's a shame your husband doesn't understand this nor the significance of the tapes to you and expects you to come back like everything is normal. Your reaction wasn't childish. It was actually very smart. You were incredibly angry and upset and removed yourself from the situation. Hopefully some of the tapes are salvageable. It is also good that you acknowledge your daughter's outburst as a stage, as hopefully with good therapy, etc., she can get better." And I'd have to agree. Okay, as somebody who, when I was 13, I know I gave my mom like a very hard time. Like I was probably, you did too?
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents said I should have been a lawyer because of how much I argued.
Oh my God, me too. And yeah, my mom literally wanted to give me away. She's like, for those couple of years, I just really wanted to give you away to somebody else that could handle you, because she was like, I'm so tired of this. And honestly, I don't blame her. Oh my God, 13-year-olds are just something
The worst.
else. Dude, they think they're so much smarter than they actually are.
I did. I thought I knew everything. To annoy me to no end when my mother said, "You think you know everything?" Because I was like, "Yeah, I do."
I swear.
Now I'm here saying, "Can someone hand me an encyclopedia, please? I don't know a shit."
Right. And I just think that the daughter destroying like heirlooms is like so childish.
I could never do that to my mother.
Oh, God
there are
forbid.
things that my mother has from her mother.
Yeah.
I can't. No, never.
No. I remember when I was that age, what I did to like piss my mom off is we used to use powdered detergent instead of liquid detergent. So she pissed me off. So I took that powdered detergent and I just dumped it in like the laundry room area. And then she yelled at me and got really mad. But I was, of course, rebellious and annoying. And then she like had my dad talk to me. And what was my punishment? They had me clean it up. So I was like, shit, I'm never doing this. Because I was like, yeah, she's going to have to clean it up. She's going to have to pay for it. I had to clean it up. That was me. But with her destroying the heirlooms and stuff like that, like, I think that's because that's not something you can get back. And I think the fact that the child is like laughing about it, like really strikes me as kind of like a crazy, like,
Well, let's roll it back there though. Crazy. No, you're a 14-year-old girl. I don't think you have the thought of how important that stuff is. You know, you don't have the reason, you don't have the sense that death is very final and that we have so little after someone's gone. I think in a couple years when this girl grows up, she's going to look back on her behavior and she's going to feel absolutely horrified by herself and she's going to strive to do better. That's my hope for this situation.
That's my hope too.
Because, you know, death is final. you won't come back.
Right.
Your loved ones won't come back.
Right.
I hold on to every little thing that I have. I wear this Buddha around my neck. I've had it since I was 11 years old, since my grandmother died. I've worn it every day. She's never going to come back. And if this were something that I were to lose or someone were to break maliciously in front of me, I can definitely say that's something that would very deeply impact me emotionally.
So you think if she was a little bit older, it would feel more malicious, but since she's younger, you think it's more attention-seeking behavior?
You know, even if we get an 18, 19-year-old, I can still say that's someone who does not really understand the concept of death. I did not understand fully the concept of death until I was maybe 22 years old, and I was standing in the hospital room watching my cousin pass.
Oh, really?
It did not hit me. And, you know, it brought me back because when I was 11, I was in New Mexico when my grandmother died, and that's where she was. So I really wanted to see her. I was the last cousin that I didn't get to see her, but I realized when I saw my cousin die, she was in the same exact state. She was not responsive. She was in bed, and she was just waiting for her body to give out.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother would never want me to see her like that. And seeing my cousin pass like that, it gave me the, what's the word? The realization, the comfort, I had a breakthrough saying, you know, she did this for...
Epiphany?
Yeah, sure. But she did this for my benefit. She didn't want me to have this thought, because every time I do think of that scene in the hospital room, it's very triggering. It's very emotional.
It is.
So, I mean, you have to keep these things. And if they're gone, you know, she's just too young. She's too young to understand.
I agree. I feel bad for the mom. I feel like the husband should be more supportive instead of like berating the mom. The mom seems very self-aware.
I think the husband here is perpetrating some of this attitude because he's probably brushing it under the rug and saying she's just young.
Yeah, and that's inappropriate too, because you have to raise them. Like your kids are not your friends.
No.
You are a parent. You have to raise them and lead them in the right direction.
Yes.
I don't care how much these parents want to act like, oh my God, me and my kid are best friends. No, you're freaking
That's
not.
your child.
That's literally your child. So don't cross those lines, those boundaries. Dude, I'm freaking 26. I will not cross conversational boundaries with my parents.
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So who's the asshole in this situation? The dad.
The dad, for sure.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that.
Me too. I thought it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming around with us, and we're checking out these assholes.
Right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel, and go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like it. If you are watching this on the podcast platform, go ahead and follow us on your podcast platform.
Honestly, and thank you guys for tuning in each time we upload.
And I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas.
Happy New Year.
New Year. And we will see you guys back here in the next video.
And join us next time as Nin goes off to auction wild bears that she hasn't caught yet, but will need to with her bare hands when she reaches the minimum of $2,000.
You know what? That's exactly how much I need to pay back my student loans. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Bye.